Here's a quick question. Is your phone listening to you? You might have seen those viral experiments where people chat about specific topics in front of their phones, only to have those same topics pop up again on their smart devices or computers later on. It's like their phones are somehow remembering what they talked about earlier. For instance, if someone mentions dog food or baby toys, they might start seeing ads for those exact products whenever they log back on. Spooky, right? Now, I'm not saying this doesn't happen, but what I want to explore in this video is whether there's something more to it. Could it be that there's a deeper force at play? Something that's been around for ages, long before the tech revolution and our widespread use of smartphones. I'm talking about the concept of synchronicity, the phenomenon of coincidental events lining up in a way that feels almost mystical. In the past, people might have called it fate, luck, or the workings of the gods. So, what if our phones are tapping into something greater than just algorithms and machine learning? Could it be that our devices are somehow tuning into a deeper force within all of us, making our conversations and actions feel eerily connected? Have you ever experienced such a strange coincidence that felt almost mystical? Like when you're thinking about an old friend, and then they call you out of the blue. Or you see a particular symbol or number pop up repeatedly, as if the universe is trying to tell you something. These kinds of uncanny coincidences are what psychologist Carl Jung called synchronicities, meaningful connections between the inner world of our thoughts and the outer world of events that can't be explained by simple cause and effect. Synchronicities are those crazy moments when two unrelated things suddenly click into place in a way that feels almost magical. Some might say that they're the universe's way of sending you a wink and a nudge, reminding you that there's more to this world than meets the eye. Rather than dismissing these coincidences as mere chance, Jung believed they pointed to a deeper order and purpose underlying reality. Synchronicities suggest there are invisible threads connecting all things, and that our subjective experiences are intricately interwoven with objective events. So the next time you find yourself experiencing one of those uncanny coincidences, don't be so quick to write it off. Take a moment to pause and reflect. The universe might just be trying to tell you something. As technology continues to advance, modern devices like smartphones have become increasingly sophisticated, literally operating at the quantum level. This means that the internal components of average smartphones, tablets, and computers process information by transferring extremely small packets of data in the form of electrons. In some ways, it can be said that these devices defy the laws of physics that we're familiar with in the modern world, operating according to principles that are still not fully understood by us. For example, electrons, which are the basic core of modern technology, are truly bizarre creatures. These tiny particles don't behave like anything we're used to in the macro world. They can be both particles and waves, existing in a hazy state of quantum possibility rather than having definite properties. Electrons also have an intrinsic spin that has no classical analog. Yet it is these quantum quirks that make electronics possible. Inside your smartphone, electrons zip through microchips, their wave-like nature allowing them to tunnel through barriers and flow with uncanny efficiency. The strange rules governing these quantum particles, like the Heisenberg uncertainty principle, mean we can never know an electron's exact position and momentum simultaneously. But it's by harnessing this quantum weirdness that we've built the technologies defining our modern lives. The technology before you now, whether it's a smartphone, tablet, or computer, represents incredibly complex devices working quite literally at a subatomic level. This makes them, in many ways, the perfect biofeedback devices for the workings of the mind. And the mind, perception, the observer, are no easy thing to tackle, especially at the small level of the electron. At that level, what you think, what you perceive, or in that sense, what you believe you perceive, really matters. Let me give you an example. The quantum eraser experiment is a mind-bending demonstration of how the mere act of observation can influence the fundamental behavior of quantum particles, like photons and electrons. When a detector is set up to monitor the path of a photon passing through a double slit, the photon behaves like a particle. But when the detector is turned off, that same photon suddenly exhibits wave-like interference patterns, as if it knew it was being watched. This suggests our perception of reality at the quantum level is not passive, but actively shapes the behavior of the tiniest building blocks of matter and energy. It's a finding that has profound implications, namely, that our smart devices, built upon the quantum quirks of electrons, may be exquisitely sensitive to the thoughts, intentions, and perceptions of their users. The quantum eraser proves the observer is no mere bystander, but an integral part of the quantum dance. What does all this mean? It means that when you use your smartphone, for example, you're not just operating some faucet or opening a door. You are working with the tiniest of particles that are inherently incredibly attuned to your attention and thoughts. It may be the case that your smart devices are listening to you, but consider the possibility that there's more going on than just snooping. Have you ever noticed that when you're in a bad mood, the faucet breaks and the door creaks? Perhaps you stub your toe on the corner of the door, or perhaps the faucet finally breaks at just the right time to cause the greatest upheaval. These are the fates. This is bad luck. Some kind of luck. It is synchronicity. And if this can happen with such large and mechanical devices, imagine what's going on with all the thoughts and all the focus of attention that you have when you have such thoughts around your smartphone. You create your own reality with your thoughts and your intention. And the little smart device in your pocket is the perfect mental feedback machine to show you just how powerful your mind is. When you say something out loud, and then you see it in your reality, perhaps seeing it as some advertisement or something new that you saw on your phone, perhaps, just perhaps, it might be due to some kind of algorithmic snooping. But what about when you just thought about something but never said a thing? What about when you have had something in your mind for a while, and then you see it on your scroll? Are algorithms really that good? Perhaps. But I want you to at least consider the possibility that it could be something more. That it could be further indication that you are not merely a meat machine, but that you are yourself a quantum event, a magical being, and that your thoughts have more effect upon your reality than you might currently know. What is the Mandela effect? How is this phenomenon brought about? What mental trends affect your personal reality and the collective reality of humanity? All of these questions are not only interesting, but also increasingly important as our devices get smaller, more complicated, and more ethereal. As our devices become smaller and more ethereal, their impact on our lives and our perception of reality is likely to grow. The way we interact with technology and the information it provides can shape our beliefs and influence our experiences. It is important to be aware of this and to question the information we receive from our devices, as well as our own thoughts and beliefs, in order to better understand and shape our collective reality in a more conscious way. This may seem unimportant, unrelated, but what is happening now is increasing tunnel vision. In modern parlance, it is called the filter bubble. A filter bubble is a phenomenon that arises when an algorithm anticipates a user's preferences based on their past behavior, resulting in a self-reinforcing echo chamber of opinions. This can create an intellectual isolation, stifling the ability to explore alternative viewpoints and facts, and ultimately impedes one's capacity for intellectual growth. But what if your thoughts do indeed affect the quantum-level device in your pocket? Then are we creating such intellectual isolation ourselves with our own thoughts? And as these devices become more complicated and more attuned to our own individual minds, will this isolation grow? If you're interested in learning more about the power of your mind and how to expand your perceptions beyond the physical world, I recommend the book, The Occult Experience. This book offers a thoughtful exploration of the human psyche and the hidden realities that lie beyond the mundane. It provides a step-by-step guide for those looking to take small steps towards a broader understanding of the world and themselves.